Welcome to the Technical Writing Success Podcast, where we help you get smarter than your competition. This is episode 149. I'm Fred, your host.
And I'm Daphne. Today, we're looking at a really interesting review of, well, probably the most dominant AI writing assistant out there, Grammarly.
That's right.
The source material we're digging into is the article Tool Review, Grammarly. It was written by our own producer, senior technical writer Kurt Robbins, and published pretty recently, October 2025.
Okay, so our mission today, and this is really crucial if you're a technical writer or maybe an IT pro listening in.
Yeah.
We need to unpack how this tool, which, let's be honest, started out focusing on grammar basics, right?
Yeah, commas and things.
How it actually functions today in, these high-stakes corporate settings. We're looking at the promise, the huge gains maybe in governance versus some of the frustrations, the friction it causes for expert users.
It's almost unavoidable, isn't it? If you're producing documentation, client proposals, serious internal comms, you're either using Grammarly yourself or your company is probably making you use it.
Right.
So we really need to get our heads around the strategic trade-offs involved.
Okay, let's unpack this then. The article kicks off by saying Grammarly's identity has fundamentally shifted. It's not just a checker anymore.
No, not at all. It's positioned as the dominant AI writing assistant. It's like this real-time coach looking over your shoulder as you type.
A coach.
Yeah.
Interesting way to put.
Well, yeah, and what's key here is how that coaching provides value in technical communication. It's less about just fixing errors and more about clarity, conciseness. And for big organizations, this is huge. Brand consistency.
Which are absolutely critical for technical docs, internal procedures, external messages,
Yeah.
all that stuff.
Exactly. These things are non-negotiable. And it acts as that second pair of eyes, which is always helpful.
And a big part of its power is just how everywhere it is, right? It embeds directly into the tools we actually use day to day.
That's a major point. Think Confluence, Jira, your email. You don't have to copy, paste, check, paste back in.
Yeah, none of that hassle.
The guidance is right there in real time. It minimizes that context switching.
Which, when you're deep in complex technical stuff, is a lifesaver for staying focused.
Absolutely. Its best value comes when it just automatically handles those style rules right where you're typing.
Okay, so let's focus on those benefits first. The pros. Because, they are significant.
They really are.
For just immediate readability, it seems like a winner. The article highlights how good it is at tackling passive voice, those long run-on sentences, and just general wordiness, verbosity.
And those things are absolutely fundamental for clear, effective technical writing. Passive voice can obscure who's doing what,
Right.
and wordiness just slows the reader down, especially if they're trying to troubleshoot or find a specific answer fast. Clarity really is speed in tech docs.
But the bigger picture, maybe the more strategic angle, particularly for larger companies listening, that seems to revolve around the premium features. The custom style guide, the brand tone stuff.
Exactly. This is where Grammarly goes beyond being just a helpful proofreader. It becomes almost an enforcement tool.
Enforcement. How so?
Well, organizations can load in their specific internal style rules. Things like, mandating the Oxford comma or how product names must be capitalized, specific terminology. And it enforces that consistently across everyone who writes anything. Sales, engineering, support.
Wow. Okay, I can see how that's massive if you're trying to manage docs for a global product. Hundreds of people creating content. Keeping that single voice is a nightmare otherwise.
It's a huge challenge. Grammarly offers that automated way to ensure consistency. The article makes a strong point here. Enterprises often adopt Grammarly less for just pure writing quality and more for risk reduction.
Risk reduction. Explain that a bit.
Standardized, accurate terminology reduces confusion. That lowers support costs. It protects the brand image. It ensures legal messaging is spot on. That custom style guide, probably the most valuable feature in the whole business package for them.
Makes sense. And what about the newer AI features, the generative stuff?
Yeah, those are adding real productivity boosts too, like quickly simplifying a really dense technical paragraph for maybe a sales team or an executive summary.
Or even just drafting an outline when you're stuck staring at a blank page.
Exactly. It gives writers a bit of acceleration and also acts as a kind of translation layer. You might need to write for engineers 1 minute and then non-technical stakeholders the next. It helps with that pivot.
Okay, lots of positives. But I feel that friction point looming.
It is. It's definitely there. The honeymoon kind of ends when you move from general business writing into really specialized technical stuff, like code comments or very structured documentation.
All right, let's pause there. Let's take a brief break for a special message from our producer, Kurt Robbins.
Hi, this is Kurt Robbins. First, thanks for listening. I truly appreciate your support. I want to let you know that I'm currently accepting new clients. My rates are affordable, and I have more than 25 years of experience working for enterprise companies like Microsoft, Northrop Grumman, Oracle, PNC Bank, FedEx, USAA, and Wells Fargo, among many others. If you want to improve your IT documentation and communications, hire me. I deliver fast, know how to use AI to improve efficiency and accuracy, and love going the extra mile to satisfy my clients. Thank you for subscribing and listening. Back to you, Daphne and Fred.
Welcome back to the Technical Writing Success Podcast. Okay, before the break, we established Grammarly's strategic value, especially around governance and consistency. But now we need to tackle that friction the article flags for expert users.
Right. And this friction is really the core trade-off, isn't it? The organization gets that consistency, but the individual expert, the technical writer or developer, might actually lose efficiency.
How? What's the main driver of that friction?
The article points squarely at the tool's handling of technical syntax. It can be overly aggressive or sometimes just plain wrong.
Can you give us a solid example? Something our audience would recognize immediately.
Sure. Think about writing instructions, maybe in a bulleted list. You often use short, imperative phrases, right? Like, ensure API endpoint is secure, it's clear, direct.
Standard practice in docs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But Grammarly flags it, says it's an incomplete sentence, needs a subject, even though that's the correct scannable format for that context. Or it frequently tries to correct capitalization in code variable names.
Oh yeah, or technical acronym.
Precisely. Things like JSON or YAML, or flags them unless you manually add every single one to your custom dictionary, which is tedious.
So the tool basically lacks the deep contextual understanding needed for these specialized languages we use in tech.
That's the nub of it. It flags industry jargon, proper nouns, perfectly correct technical terms, all as errors. And the article drops a pretty startling statistic here.
Oh!
Expert technical writers often reject somewhere between 40 and 90% of Grammarly's suggestions when working on specialized content.
Whoa, hang on. 40 to 90%.
90%, yeah.
If I, as the expert, am spending that much time just clicking ignore rather than focusing on the actual technical accuracy, I mean, is the tool even helping at that point? Is it actually a net negative in those specific workflows?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? That's the strategic dilemma this analysis surfaces. When the effort of fighting the AI starts to outweigh the benefit of the automated checks, well, that's where specialized users get frustrated.
And the tool's kind of defaulting to a general English standard, which just doesn't map to the precision needed for, say, configuration examples or code documentation.
Exactly. And speaking of code, what about the whole docs as code movement? That's huge now.
Right. Tools like Markdown, doc.
Well, that's another gap identified in the review. While Grammarly integrates widely, Office, Google Docs, browsers, fantastic, it doesn't natively support some key docs as code formats, like certain flavors of Markdown or LaTeX.
So for teams fully committed to those developer-centric workflows, its utility is limited.
Significantly limited. They often need other tools, other linters, specifically for that environment. Grammarly doesn't quite reach into that pure DevDoc pipeline yet.
Okay. So if the rejection rate can be that high for experts and there are gaps in format support, how does Grammarly still provide value? Let's break it down by who's using it. The organizational audience seems key here.
Yeah, you really have to connect the why, the strategic reason for buying it, to see the value proposition clearly.
All right, let's start big. Large enterprise organizations, the ones buying Grammarly business, what's their primary driver?
Fundamentally, it's governance, risk reduction, and standardization. Full stop. They are often willing to accept some productivity friction on their expert staff.
Because the payoff is control.
Precisely. Control over potentially thousands of documents, thousands of employees. It's about enforcing that single company style guide, that mandated terminology list. They upload it centrally, and it gets pushed out everywhere.
So the features they care most about are things like centralized billing, SSO integration for easy deployment, maybe those analytics dashboards.
Exactly. Those dashboards let them track writing improvements, or at least consistency across the board. For them, the cost is justified if it prevents even one major brand messaging error or legal slip-up.
Okay, that makes sense for the big players. Now let's shift gears. Startups and small companies, probably using the premium version, totally different need, I imagine.
Completely different. For them, Grammarly often functions as a critical resource multiplier, a quality safety net.
How so?
Think about a lean startup. They likely don't have dedicated editors or a big documentation team.
Right, engineers or product managers might be doing the writing.
Exactly. So Grammarly Premium acts like an affordable, always-on copy editor. It helps subject matter experts, maybe folks who aren't native English speakers, produce polished, professional-looking communication quickly.
So it fills a resource gap and protects the brand image when they're just starting out.
Precisely. It helps them punch above their weight in terms of comms quality. It speeds things up because that basic polish is handled automatically, catching errors that could make a young company look unprofessional.
Okay, and the last group, individual consultants or freelancers. What's the value prop there?
For them, it's much more direct ROI. It's career insurance, basically, and a productivity tool.
Career assurance.
Yeah, think about it. A freelancer's entire reputation hinges on the quality and professionalism of what they deliver. Clients expect polished work.
True.
So Grammarly helps ensure that. It cuts down proofreading time dramatically. It helps them deliver clean first drafts, which reduces back and forth with clients. The subscription cost, easily justified as a business expense to maintain that professional edge.
Okay, so summing this up, we've got this core tension. On one hand, Grammarly provides really powerful tools for organizational governance, for basic quality control, driving clarity across the board.
Absolutely. Huge value there for consistency and general business communication.
But that value comes at a cost,
Yeah.
specifically for technical specialists. They face this significant overhead, fighting suggestions, dealing with that high rejection rate, because the tool just doesn't have the precision for their highly specific, often code-related content.
It's a fantastic generalist editor, but it can be a demanding, sometimes frustrating partner when you need that absolute technical precision.
Which leads us to, I guess, the final provocative thought here. If experts are rejecting potentially up to 90% of suggestions,
Yeah.
the big question for us in the technical writing community, and maybe for the AI tool developers too, is how do we bridge that gap?
Yeah, how do you get AI to understand the specific context and syntax of technical documentation, not just general grammar rules?
Without just relying on endless manual dictionary building.
Right. That ability to grasp technical nuance, that seems like the next frontier for these kinds of specialized writing tools, getting beyond generalization to true precision.
A lot to think about there. Thank you for listening to the Technical Writing Success Podcast from Kurt Robbins, where we help you get smarter than your competition. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, and share. We'll see you next week.